What if I told you that the endless cycles of economic collapse we see throughout history aren't random? Not accidents or mere market failures, but part of a deliberate hidden system. What if every financial crisis you've heard about, from the South Sea bubble to the Great Depression to 2008, and even today, simmering tensions, were orchestrated events designed to concentrate power and wealth into the hands of a select few? And what if the money you rely on, your savings, your job, and your future, are collateral damage in a financial war you never agreed to fight? Today, we peel back the layers of this grand financial conspiracy, a web of secret institutions, engineered debt, and unending crises that shape the fate of nations. This is the story no mainstream economist will tell you. But by the end, you'll never look at money, debt, or economic collapse the same way again. To understand the conspiracy, we must first understand the very nature of money. For millennia, money was tangible: gold and silver coins, precious metals trusted for their intrinsic value. But gold is heavy, scarce, and impractical for large, complex economies. By the 17th century, merchants and governments needed a better system. Banks began issuing banknotes, essentially IOUs or promises to pay the bearer on demand. This was revolutionary but dangerous, because these notes weren't always fully backed by gold. Banks realized they could hold only a fraction of their deposits in gold, lending out the rest, effectively creating new money. This fractional reserve system multiplied the money supply, but also the risk. Governments, needing to finance wars and expansion, created central banks, the first being the Bank of England in 1694. Instead of controlling inflation or money supply for the people, central banks became instruments for managing national debt and protecting elite financial interests. Modern money is no longer backed by physical assets. It's created by debt. When you take out a loan, new money enters circulation. But this money must be paid back with interest, which is never created, creating an inevitable cycle of ever-growing debt. In 1720, South Sea Company was granted a monopoly to manage British government debt in exchange for huge profits. Speculation drove share prices to insane levels. The bubble burst, ruining investors, but not the elites. The Rothschilds rose to unprecedented power by controlling government debt and using early intelligence networks. They profited from wars and crises, mastering the art of financial manipulation. Powerful banking families and secretive institutions, such as the Bank of England, Federal Reserve, and later IMF and World Bank, forged global networks to control money flows. The Industrial Revolution and financial expansion, rapid industrial growth, required massive capital, fueled by credit and debt. Central banks expanded their influence worldwide. In 1913, the Federal Reserve was created behind closed doors, centralized control of U.S. money, allowing unprecedented credit expansion. Easy credit and speculation created the illusion of endless prosperity. The market collapsed, jobs vanished, and banks failed. The Federal Reserve's mismanagement intensified the crash. After World War II, the Bretton Woods Agreement fixed currencies to the U.S. dollar, which was convertible to gold. In 1971, Nixon severed the dollar's link to gold. Fiat money, money backed by government decree and debt, was born. With no gold backing, debt soared. 1987 crash, 1997 Asian crisis, 2000 dot-com bubble, 2008 global financial crisis, all follow the same boom-bust bailout cycle. Governments pump trillions to save banks. Taxpayers foot the bill. The top 1% accumulates wealth. Repeal of Glass-Steagall allowed megabanks to grow. Derivatives and shadow banking create hidden risks. Quantitative easing inflates asset prices and debt, because crises are profitable to the elite. Global debt exceeds $300 trillion. Fed balance sheet exceeds $9 trillion. Rising inflation and asset bubbles. Trillions injected to prop up markets. Central banks move to digital money, increasing control. Credit expands, asset bubbles form, debt reaches unsustainable levels. Market crashes, bailouts, and stimulus, wealth concentrates, cycle repeats. The financial system is inherently unstable and designed around debt. Crises are engineered and benefit a few while harming many. Transparency and systemic reform are essential to break the cycle. The next crisis, could be far worse, especially with emerging digital money and AI-powered financial systems. Will we wake up and demand change, or will history repeat itself? If you found this eye-opening, please like, subscribe, and share to spread awareness. Comment your thoughts and join the conversation on the financial system's future. Together, we can expose the truth and reclaim control over our money. End with cinematic visuals of cracked currencies fading to black.